In the sun-burnished kingdom of Aylesbury, where baobab trees stood like ancient guardians and the red earth carried the footprints of ancestors, there lived a princess no man wished to marry. Her name was Princess Amara Abney. In a land where names carried destiny, Amara meant grace. But grace was not the word people used for her. They said her tongue was a spear. They said her laughter cut like harmattan wind. They said any man who sought her hand left with pride bleeding. Suitors came from kingdoms across the savannah, horsemen from the Sahel, gold-cloaked princes from forest empires, warriors whose mothers swore they had never known fear. Yet all of them left the same way. Ashamed, dismissed, diminished. But no child is born cruel. Amara had not always been this way. When she was 7, her mother, Queen Saad, died giving birth to a son who did not survive the night. In one sunrise, Amara lost both mother and brother. Her father, King Adeyemi, loved her. But kings do not grieve like ordinary men. They grieve in silence behind carved doors in council meetings. He grew distant, and the court grew loud. Whispers filled the palace corridors. A kingdom without a male heir. A daughter is soft. She will marry and belong to another throne. Amara heard everything. She learned early that softness invited dismissal. So she hardened. Her tutors demanded perfection. She mastered warfare strategy. Her generals tested her. She outrode them. Her scholars challenged her. She memorized law, trade routes, and lineage. But still, when visiting chiefs spoke to her, they spoke slowly, as if to a child. When suitors arrived, they did not ask her opinions. They described what she would become. My queen will be gentle. My wife will obey. My household will be ruled by my voice. No one asked what she wanted. So Amara decided something. If they feared strength in a woman, she would become terrifying. If they believed women should be quiet, she would be thunder. Better to be feared than dismissed. Prince Jabari of the River Kingdom arrived with ivory gifts. You would look beautiful seated beside me, he told her. And you would look better silent, she replied. He left before sunset. A warrior prince from the north boasted of battles. I have conquered many lands. And yet, she said calmly, you have not conquered humility. He left red-faced. Another prince laughed at her during a council debate. You speak like a man. She smiled coldly. And you think like a child. He left before dinner. Word spread across West Africa. The Princess of Aylesbury humiliates men. Eventually the suitors stopped coming. And though Amara pretended satisfaction, the palace grew quieter. He did not arrive with drums. He did not arrive with gold. He came during the planting season, when the air smelled of rain and wet soil. His name was Kofi Ao, and he claimed no royal introduction. He asked to speak with the king, not for marriage, but for trade discussions about grain storage systems his people had perfected in drought seasons. Amara overheard council discussions and interrupted, as she often did. You speak boldly for a man without a title. Kofi met her gaze, steady, unhurried. And you wound quickly for a woman without peace. The council gasped. No man had spoken to her like that. She expected anger in his eyes. There was none. Only observation. She tested him. She mocked his plain clothing. These are the clothes of someone who works, he said lightly. Do princesses not work in Aylesbury? She challenged his ideas in council. He welcomed debate. She tried to embarrass him publicly. He laughed, not at her but with genuine ease. Days passed. He did not flinch. He did not retreat. He did not attempt to dominate her. He also did not submit. It unsettled her more than fear ever had. One evening, during the cool hush after rain, she found him seated beneath the oldest baobab tree, the tree her mother used to sit beneath. You are not like the others, she said. No, he agreed. Why do you not fear me? He looked up at the branches stretching toward the stars. Because I do not think you are cruel. Her jaw tightened. Everyone else does. I think, he continued gently, that you learned early that love leaves, and that respect must be forced. Her breath caught. No one had spoken her grief aloud in years. You know nothing of my life, she said sharply. I know loss, he answered. And I know that some people build walls. You built weapons. Silence stretched between them. For the first time since childhood, Her anger did not feel powerful. It felt heavy. Over the weeks that followed, something shifted. He asked her questions no suitor had asked. What did your mother teach you? What makes you afraid? What kind of ruler do you want to be remembered as? She had answers for everything political, but not for those. And slowly, like rain softening hardened soil, she began to speak. About the whispers. About feeling unwanted as an heir. About watching her father withdraw. About promising herself she would never need anyone. Kofi did not try to fix her. He simply listened. One morning, a young palace servant dropped a tray in her presence. Amara's first instinct was sharp rebuke. She paused. She remembered the baobab. She remembered her mother's laugh. She remembered being 7 years old and terrified. Instead of scolding, she knelt. "Are you hurt?" she asked. The servant stared, stunned. It was a small moment, but in kingdoms, small moments change history. Months later, the council learned Kofi was not a common trader. He was the son of a respected chief from a powerful agricultural kingdom, a man who had chosen to travel humbly to understand other lands before leading his own. When Amara learned this, she did not feel triumph. She felt something far more unfamiliar. Relief. He had never needed her crown. He had chosen her company. When they finally married, it was not a union arranged by pressure. It was negotiated as a partnership between two rulers. Their vows were spoken before elders. Ancestors invoked in drum and chant. Amara did not promise obedience. Kofi did not promise dominance. They promised counsel. They promised truth. They promised not to weaponize wounds. And under the wide African sky, as griots sang their story, the people of Aylesbury celebrated not because the rude princess had been tamed, but because their queen had healed, not as the princess no one wanted, but as Amara the iron-willed, who turned her sharpness into justice, her grief into wisdom, and her throne into shared strength. Dear friends, what lessons did you learn from this story? Please let us know in the comments section. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Thank you.